Hi, welcome to Joyce's Kitchen, where I will be teaching you how to make low-cost, healthy vegetarian meals. And today we're going to be making stuffed cabbage. Now, to prepare this meal, what we need to start out with is we're going to coat our pan with olive oil, just a small amount. We don't need a lot, to saute our vegetables. Alrighty, and you want to do that, of course, on not too high of a heat. And we're going to need, to get this started, one large chopped onion. And we're going to take this over and put it in the pan and let it get nice and not real brown, but just enough to just give it a little flavor to it. A little caramelized flavor. Then we are going to, right here, add to that, one chopped green pepper. And we're going to stir this around just to coat the oil on it, so when it gets nice and hot, it all gets caramelized together, gets browned together. That's what I'm saying. And I think we may even need just a tad bit more, olive oil, just to kind of coat our vegetables just a little bit more. Here we are. That will do it. You see? I love to have nice combination of beautiful colors in my food, which that's going to benefit us nutritionally as well. And what we're going to do now is we're going to add like about 40 ounces of, I would say 2 cans of organic tomato sauce. And you want to add like a can of organic tomatoes, chopped, whole tomatoes chopped. And to this we are going to stir in, I have this off here, our spices while we're waiting for our vegetables to cook. We're going to add some garlic powder. Of course, if you choose to, you can chop a whole garlic clove, that would be fine. And we're going to put in some, now that was actually onion powder, and this is the garlic powder. And you can kind of just ad-lib with this. You can add your own flavor. I'm a big fan of just kind of just ad-libbing. And then we're going to add some oregano and some pepper. And I love to get just a little spark to my stuffed cabbage. So I'm going to add a few dabs of hot sauce. And that's just going to make it all come together quite nicely. It's going to give it a nice, like a, what do you call it? Like a sort of a hot, tangy flavor, not real hot where it's unbearable, but just the right flavor, just the right amount of hotness. And we're going to stir all these ingredients together like this. And meanwhile, what we're doing here is we're going to go over and check on our vegetables and see how they are coming along. And stir them over just a little bit, because we want them to be just a little tender. Now we need to put our lid back on. And while we're waiting for that all to happen, what we're going to do is pour a little bit, we're going to prepare our baking pan. We're going to pour a little bit of olive oil in the baking pan, like this, just to coat it so that our stuffed cabbage doesn't stick to the pan. And we're going to go all around the edges and everything. And it just makes it easier for cleanup and easier to get your food out of the pan. And just try to get like around the edges and everything. And so you just need maybe about a tablespoon of oil to just kind of coat it. All right. I think that's going to be good enough. And again, we're going to check on our veggies to see how they are coming along. And yes, they're coming along quite nicely. I think just a little bit longer and they will be fine. I really love onions. They have lots of B vitamins in them, which is very good for us. And what are we going to do now? We are going to, no, the next thing is prepare to add our TVP. This is texturized vegetable protein. It's excellent in the fact that it resembles hamburger, the texture of it, ground beef, and also it like sops up the flavors or whatever you choose to cook it in, and it's made from soybeans. It's derived from soybeans. They use make it from a defatted soybean oil. And when you couple this along with brown rice, it comes together as a complete protein. So we're going to put this over in our pan, and we're going to begin to brown this along with our veggies. Alrighty. Oops. Before I did that, I wanted to show you, as long as they're getting like soft, they don't have to be real brown, but as long as they're soft, you don't want to cook out your nutrients in your vegetables. So now we're going to add the TVP, texturized vegetable protein, is what we're putting in. And by the way, we need at least 2 cups of this texturized vegetable protein to prepare this. And we're going to just stir it around pretty good. Just get it mixed in with our vegetables. And Meanwhile, we need to add to this like 2 cubes, 2 vegetable bouillon cubes. And, okay, we're going to kind of like break up the cubes and stir them around within your meal. And this one a little lower light. And this is going to add a nice flavor to your vegetables and your TVP mixture. And I like to use vegetable bouillon cubes because it makes a nice flavor without having to add, you know, it takes up, gives you like a little more of a, what do you call it, flavoring to your meal. Alrighty. Now, we're going to let that go just a little longer. And we're going to see how our sauce is. That looks like that's fine. And once that cooks just a little longer over there, your TVP needs to brown. Then we're going to add to that our brown rice. So, let's see what's happening here. See if it's getting any browner, because it really doesn't take long for this to get brown. Okay. Alrighty, and while we're waiting for that all to happen, we are going to take some tomato sauce and we're going to coat the bottom of our baking dish with the tomato sauce. You don't need much. This is all going to keep it from sticking, keep your stuffed cabbage from sticking to the bottom of your baking pan. That's the purpose for doing this. That's the reason. And it's going to give a nice little saucy flavor to your meal. So that's the whole purpose behind coating the bottom of the pan. You just spread it out quite nicely like this. And by the way, this is a very inexpensive meal to prepare. And with what I am preparing today, would certainly feed a family of 4 for $9. And I like to go to like a neighborhood farmer's market or a vegetable stand where you can buy your vegetables, my vegetables in bulk for a great price, for a very reasonable price. And also check out like the organic markets, which is really a lot better for us. Alrighty, let's come over here and see what's happening with our mixture. We're going to turn this flame down a little bit. Yes, it is getting browner. And by the way, you can also add, I like to add just a little bit more spice to my TVP mixture. So I'm going to put in just a little bit more onion powder and oregano. Oops. And a little bit more garlic. Just a tad bit. Alrighty, now to this mixture we're going to stir in our brown rice, of which we're going to need 4 cups of brown rice. You can use either long grain brown rice or short grain. It's your choice. Alrighty, just to show you how nicely that's coming along. We're going to add our brown rice in, and this all needs to just cook together quite briefly because the brown rice has already been cooked. So essentially all you're doing is reheating it and letting it all culminate together. Alrighty, so I'm stirring it all in. Okay, just got to kind of stir it all together. So you're combining all your ingredients. Okay, turn that flame up just a little bit. I think we pretty much have it. I think we pretty much have it mixed together quite well. Alrighty. Now to this mixture, we want to add just a little bit of our sauce, and that's going to add moisture to it. And it's going to give it a nice color. Alrighty, and stir this all around. Going to give it, by adding this sauce, you're going to get a nice color to it. You're going to get moisture. Alrighty. I actually think that we can add just a little bit more sauce. There we are. Then show you what it looks like. That's got your green peppers and your onions and chopped tomatoes and sauce in there. And we just want to let this simmer just a wee bit longer. Meanwhile, while that is happening, we are going to take our cabbage leaves, which has already been chopped up and prepared. What you want to do with the cabbage is to put it in a pan with water and like steam it, just a little bit of water in it. You don't need a lot. You don't need to drown your cabbage in it because you want to preserve your nutrients. The purpose of cooking it just a little bit, steaming it, is to make it easy to work with, because you're going to fill these leaves, these cabbage leaves up with a sauce. So I like to put together at least 2 of these. And one nice size head of cabbage would work just fine for having enough to, I think I'm going to leave this here for a moment, to stuff your leaves with. This should be quite done. And meanwhile, we want to make sure our oven is on like 375, because you want to prepare to bake this together on 375 for about 30 minutes, 45 minutes tops. Okay, what I need to do here is we are going to fill our leaves. We're going to need to rinse this off. Okay. We need to just a nice hefty spoonful like that is real good. I think that works just fine. And you don't have to make these all the same size, by the way. Now I am personally putting a couple of leaves on each one and kind of just making it like into a pouch sort of a situation here. And then you want to just place it in your pan like that. And you want to get another one. Okay. This is serving like as a nice little pouch for the filling. Alrighty. You see you've got the red tomatoes and the green peppers and the onions, and add it around quite nicely. And we're going to get us a little hat to put on it. I would like to call it. And wrap it over quite nicely like that. And let's see, I'm just going to add a little piece on top, then cut it down like that. Now we have another one we are making. And oops, I think I'm butterfingered today. There we are, trying to get this leaf So open up. Now, 3. This makes a nice wholesome meal served along with some garlic bread. Nice and complimentary. And as I said earlier, you don't have to make them all the same size. You can actually have some smaller ones if you have children and you want to not give them one that's that big, but you want to personalize it for them without having to get a whole one and cut it in half is what I mean. Okay, here we are. Oops. Now we're going to do another one. And I'm just trying to find the right leaf in here. Okay. Here we are. Just make it into a nice little circle like, and then you want to get ourselves like another hat here, and let's wrap it over in a nice little pouch. And this is a nice meal on a cold night to enjoy. Trying to just put it all over a nice little pouch, and here we are. This one's a little bit raggedy there, but we can always patch that up. So what we want to do, coming along. Alrighty. Now, I am going to wrap it over again. Oops. That just keeps everything nice inside. That's the whole idea of the whole pouch. Alrighty. Then the little hat on this one. Place it in there nicely, and we're going to make ourselves like that, and we are. Alrighty. Now we're going to just add some sauce. on the top. Of each of these bundles. And the sauce is going to give it more flavor and keep it so it won't dry out in the oven. Here we are. Gives it a nice pretty color too, by the way. And here we are. And you just spread it all on top of each of your little bundles. And alrighty, now we're going to put it in our oven at 375 and let it bake for 30 to 45 minutes on 375. Or you may have to adjust your heat. It might be a little bit less, 350, or maybe slightly a little bit more for you. And I wanted to thank you for tuning in to watch us today. And before I forget, this is what our stuffed cabbage looks like. Wonderful. And you can couple it off, as I said, with garlic bread, or if you like applesauce with it, that's good too. And thank you for tuning in to watch us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And also tune in next time. We will be making split pea soup. And check into our comment box. If it's something you would like me to prepare for you, let me know. And I look forward to seeing you the next time. Thank you. Thank you.